Welcome, Jake from Fether Archery here in Hillsdale, Michigan. Tonight we're going to go over setting our nock height, which is going to require us to set our rest height, where we want our arrow to run. Do we want that arrow level? Do we want it nock high or nock down? We want to get our arrow in there and then determine whether or not, what I like to do is I want to run right through the center of the burger hole. So we can see there that Hoyt emblem, that's going to represent our burger hole. So if we want to run right through the center of that, we're going to level this arrow so that it runs right through the center of that burger hole. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we'll make sure that we're level. So I've got a level up here on my string. I've also got a level here that I'll throw on my riser and make sure that my shelf is level. So with our riser, shelf level, and then our string level, we're going to go ahead and raise this rest up just a little bit. So I'll loosen it up, make a couple of clicks, double check. So we are going to be right in the center of our burger hole. So now we're going to throw our level on our arrow. And what I like to do is I like to nock high just a little bit and then have this as close to centered as possible. That's going to give me a little bit of travel up, a little bit of travel down if needed. But if I start nock high, it seems like the bows want to tune just a little bit easier. So that's where I like to start them, is nock high just a little bit. So now that we got that on there, cut off a nice 16 inches of serving material. This is 3D serving. And what I'm going to do is tie my soft nock just loosely over the top of my nock. And I'm going to work this down until I'm nock high. Too much. I'm going to tie it there. And I'm just going to tie square knots on both sides. So just a single square knot on one side and then another single square knot on the opposite side. And that's going to get it to where it's not going to move at least. But if we need to, we can take it apart. We can see when we look at our level that our arrow is going to sit nock high just a little bit, and we are going to run right through the center of our burger. So now I got a square knot on the bottom, a square knot. I have a square knot on this side, square knot on the other side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this side and I'm going to tie two square knots and I'm going to cinch her down. And then I'm going to cut off my extra. And all we got to do is burn those off. I'm going to take another section, 16 inches or so, of my 3D serving. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. But this time, I don't want to come up right tight underneath that knot. What I want to do is come down just a little bit. And sometimes you got to play with this just a little bit depending on the axle to axle of your bow. So when we tie our bottom soft nock, we want to make sure we have a little play here. Okay? And the reason that is as that string goes back, it will pinch that nock, and we don't want nock pitch because we will raise up off of our rest if we get nock pinch. And then we'll get accuracy issues. So what is the right gap to have here? It's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all for this, because this is a 29-inch axle-to-axle bow, so it's going to have a fairly aggressive string angle, which means we're going to need a little bit more gap here for this, or we'll get nock pinch. If this was a longer axle-to-axle bow, a 33, a 34-inch, or 35-inch bow, you know, we could tighten this up just a little bit and still not suffer that nock pinch. So a couple things that play into that, you know, what nocks are you using and what axle to axle are you running. So once we have that determined, I'm going to go a little wide on this one because it is a short axle to axle bow with a little longer draw length. I'm going to tie a square knot on my side, square knot on the opposite side. Cinch her down nice and tight, and then come back to my side and tie a double square again. Go ahead and trim that off. The only thing I need to do is burn my strings. I always come down to burn my strings so that I'm always above the string whenever I have my flame. You never want the string above your flame for any reason. So we can see here, soft nocks tied on. A nice little gap there, prevent us from having knock pinch. Come on, focus. There we go. And we're going to run right through our burger hole. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and feel free to check us out, swingbyfetherarchery.com. Check us out online. Or if you're in Hillsdale, Michigan, swing by the shop. Love to chat it up with you. Thanks for watching.